I never believed in fate until the day I accidentally proposed to Eliza. One minute I was fumbling with my grandmother's ring, meant for my girlfriend of 3 years, and the next, I was on one knee in front of the wrong woman. The look in Eliza's eyes when she whispered yes wasn't surprise. It was relief. Like she'd been waiting for me all along, while I'd been too blind to see what was right in front of me. If you've ever wondered if the universe sometimes knows what you need better than you do, stick around. This story might just change how you think about coincidences. And if it resonates with you, please hit that like button and subscribe to hear more stories about life's unexpected turns. It started on a Tuesday. Ordinary in every way, except it was the day I decided to propose to Vanessa. We'd been together since college, and it felt like the logical next step. I'd been carrying my grandmother's vintage emerald ring in my pocket for weeks, waiting for the perfect moment. I work at Meridian Publishing as a senior editor. My desk faces Eliza's, who joined our team 8 months ago. We'd become friends, the kind who share lunch breaks and inside jokes about our boss's terrible ties. Nothing more. At least, that's what I told myself. That morning, I was a nervous wreck. I kept taking the ring box out of my pocket, opening and closing it, rehearsing what I'd say to Vanessa that evening. "You're fidgety today, James," Eliza said, peering at me over her computer. Her dark curls were pulled back, a few strands escaping around her face. "Big presentation?" "Something like that," I mumbled, quickly pocketing the ring. Later, as we walked to our usual lunch spot, I was so distracted I nearly walked into traffic. Eliza grabbed my arm, pulling me back just as a taxi sped by. "Okay, what's going on with you?" she demanded, her hand still on my arm. "You've been weird all day." Maybe it was the adrenaline from my near-death experience, or maybe I just needed to tell someone, but I found myself confessing everything. "I'm proposing to Vanessa tonight." Eliza's face did something complicated before settling into a smile that didn't quite reach her eyes. "Wow. Congratulations." "Thanks," I said, not understanding why her reaction made my stomach twist. "I'm nervous." "Can I see the ring?" she asked. We sat on a bench in the small park near our office. I pulled out the box and opened it. The emerald caught the sunlight, sending green flashes across Eliza's face. "It's beautiful," she whispered. "Your grandmother's?" I nodded, surprised she remembered me mentioning it months ago. "Vanessa's lucky," she said softly. Something in her voice made me look up. For a brief moment, I saw something raw and honest in her expression before she blinked it away. Then disaster struck. A cyclist swerved to avoid a pedestrian, careening toward our bench. We jumped up, the ring box flying from my hand. In the chaos, I lost sight of it. "The ring!" I shouted, dropping to my knees to search the grass. Eliza joined me, both of us crawling around frantically. After several panicked minutes, she called out, "Found it." Relief flooded through me. Without thinking, I turned toward her voice, still on my knees. She was holding the open box, the ring glinting inside. Our eyes met. "Oh, thank God," I breathed. "You're amazing." And then, in what can only be described as the most monumental brain malfunction of my life, I said, "Will you marry me?" The words hung in the air between us. I'd meant to say, "Thank you." Or maybe, "I owe you one." Definitely not a marriage proposal. But there it was. Before I could correct myself, before I could laugh it off as a joke, Eliza's eyes filled with tears. Her hand trembled as she covered her mouth. "Yes," she whispered. "Yes, I will." Time stopped. The world narrowed to just her face, flushed, tearful, radiant with joy. And in that suspended moment, something shifted inside me. A recognition. A truth I'd been denying for months. I was in love with Eliza. The realization hit me like a physical blow. I loved her laugh, her mind, the way she always knew what I was thinking. I loved our conversations that stretched for hours. I loved how she challenged me, inspired me, made me better. And I was supposed to propose to someone else in a few hours. James? Eliza's voice brought me back. Uncertainty had crept into her expression. You did mean to ask, right? I should have corrected the misunderstanding immediately. That would have been the right thing to do. Instead, I found myself nodding, taking the ring from the box, and sliding it onto her finger. It fit perfectly. I heard myself say. I've wanted to for a long time. Her smile was like sunrise. She threw her arms around me, and I held her close, my mind racing. What had I done? What about Vanessa? How could I explain this? But beneath the panic was a current of something else, something that felt strangely like relief. We walked back to the office in a daze, her hand in mine. Colleagues noticed the ring immediately. There were congratulations, surprised exclamations, questions about how long we'd been together secretly. We fumbled through answers, creating our relationship history on the spot. I always knew there was something between you two, our boss said, clapping me on the shoulder. By the end of the day, I was living in an alternate reality, one where Eliza and I had been falling in love for months, where this proposal was the natural culmination of our secret romance. Except it wasn't. And I still had Vanessa waiting for me. I called her that evening, asking if we could meet. My plan was to confess everything, to end our relationship honestly. But when I saw her at our favorite restaurant, looking beautiful and excited because I'd hinted at a special night, my courage failed. I can't do this anymore, I blurted out instead. I'm sorry. Her face crumpled. What? James, what are you talking about? I've met someone else, I said, the partial truth burning my throat. I didn't mean for it to happen. The pain in her eyes will haunt me forever. 3 years together, ended in the cruelest way possible. She threw her water in my face and walked out. I deserved worse. That night, I couldn't sleep. I'd hurt someone I cared about. I'd lied to someone I was falling in love with. I was a fraud, a coward, living a life built on an absurd mistake. The next morning, I went to Eliza's apartment. She opened the door wearing my grandmother's ring and a smile that dimmed when she saw my expression. We need to talk, I said. We sat on her couch, and I told her everything. How the proposal was an accident. How I'd been planning to propose to Vanessa. How I'd broken up with her last night without explaining why. Eliza listened in silence, her face growing paler with each word. When I finished, she slipped the ring off her finger and placed it on the coffee table between us. I see, she said, her voice steady despite the tears in her eyes. Thank you for telling me the truth. But that's not all, I continued, my heart pounding. The proposal was an accident, but my feelings aren't. When you said yes, I realized I've been falling in love with you for months. I was too afraid to admit it, even to myself. She looked at me, hope and doubt warring in her expression. How can I believe that? How do I know this isn't just you trying to fix your mistake? You can't, I admitted. I wouldn't believe me either. But I'm asking for a chance to prove it. Not as an engaged couple, we can forget that happened. But maybe as two people who go on an actual first date? For a long moment, she said nothing. Then she picked up the ring again, studying it. This should go back to your grandmother, she said finally. Until you're sure. Until we're both sure. I nodded, taking the ring and tucking it away. Is that a yes to the date? A small smile tugged at her lips. It's a yes to coffee. As colleagues. The rest, we'll see. That coffee led to dinner. Dinner led to long walks and longer conversations. We took things slowly, learning each other properly this time. I apologized to Vanessa again, more honestly, though she understandably wanted nothing to do with me. 6 months later, I found myself on one knee again, this time intentionally, in the same park where I'd accidentally proposed. This time with a new ring, chosen specifically for Eliza. The first time I did this, I had no idea what I was doing, I told her. This time, I'm absolutely certain. I love you, Eliza. Will you marry me? For real this time? Her eyes sparkled with tears and laughter. Are you sure you're not confusing me with someone else? Never been more sure of anything, I promised. Then yes, she said. Again. We were married a year later. My grandmother's ring went to my sister, who had always admired it. Eliza and I started our own story, with our own symbols. Sometimes the biggest mistakes lead to the truest paths. Sometimes what looks like a cosmic joke is actually the universe course-correcting your life. And sometimes, the person you're meant to be with has been sitting across from you all along, just waiting for you to finally see them. If this story touched you, please like and subscribe for more tales about love's unexpected journeys. Remember, not all accidents are disasters, some are destiny in disguise.